1993 two-strokes. Who wishes they still made these things today? Time machine, back in time, 1993. Some of the best times of my life. Clinton was president, oh well. Nirvana, oh well. But everything else was pretty good. It was a good time. And for dirt bikes, there were some trail machines, two-strokes. We had a KDX200 and an RMX250. 1993. We're gonna compare these two bikes to each other. We know this one has 50 more cc's, but we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of a 1993. What we've tried to do on these two bikes is get them as close to good and rideable as we can. We've got the suspension serviced on both bikes, got a new Wiseco piston in both bikes, fresh clutch in both bikes. We have our Works Connection clutch perch on both bikes and Enduro Engineering wraparound handguards with ODI bars and grips on both bikes. Right away, you'll notice that neither of these bikes look like my typical project builds. There's no graphics on these things. There's no fancy new plastic. We just have, honestly, the tires that they came with. The RMX did get some good used tires we had. The KDX had some decent tires on it. So this is what we're using for this first test ride right now. Our next step in this build is to add a steel Pro X rear sprocket and X-ring chain. Front and rear sprockets on both these bikes with a new chain will increase their durability and will feel safer, you know, being further away on these things. Both the bikes, while we did the pistons, we went ahead and cleaned the carburetors, got new rebuild kits in there, came up with some jetting specs based on the things we found. The RMX was a little tougher because we had it up in Utah some, so we used the JD jetting kit to dial that in. And the KDX, we use some of the PC jetting. We have that jetting in there, and we got a V-Force reed cage in both bikes. The KDX, the intake boot was cracking pretty good, and it's not available, but Hot Shoe Moto made a new intake, so we got that on there. We got IMS pegs on both bikes. The KDX, the stock shifter was pretty tweaked, so we got the IMS shifter on there as well. On the KDX, we actually changed out the steering stem bearings with Tusk had some steering stem bearings for this thing. We got those changed out because they were rotted out. The RMX one's not too bad. I think it was mainly a California bike. That one's probably gonna need to be changed in the future, but those were decent. So we addressed all those important points. We also flushed out the brake fluid, front and rear, so that we made sure that we had good brake fluid in there, and everything feels really nice and tight. As you can see, we're having a pretty good time riding these things. Check out some of this footage. And when we're all done with this ride, we'll report back and give our thoughts on both the bikes.
Probably. Well, that was pretty not great. I remember this trail's like gnarly. I'm not gonna go up it.
We're back. That was almost fun. Spencer says it was a lot more fun than I do. Our conditions aren't great in Southern California. Everybody knows it's a dry winter in Southern California. And we're at that point of it right now. The rain is coming in the future, but unfortunately, a little dry. But riding both bikes, tons of fun. And what it made me realize is that basically I'm calling these $3,000 bikes. If you can get a good deal, we got a good deal on each of these, better than most people, but $3,000 in this range is what you should pay. And that's assuming you don't, we paid $1,500 for this one, but have another $1,500 into it. We're doing the suspension, putting bars and grips and handguards and some tires, clutch and piston. So easy, you can get to 1,500 real easy. So that's another thing to remember. We have a video talking about what used bikes to buy, but be very careful of what seems like a good deal and it all of a sudden doesn't. So can you have fun on a $3,000 bike?
Yes.
Spencer
Absolutely.
says his thing was, what'd you say? You can do?
I can do everything that I can do on a 350 XCF, which is our favorite overall bike or best overall bike, on this, or either one.
On either one. Okay, so first let's go to some of this video. We did some really good testing.
Very good. Very thorough.
So we were on some little bit of concrete and going up and down in the tweaker wash, we'll call it. Okay. And within tweaker wash, we found when you go up and down the walls, which one won that?
I think the RMX.
RMX.
Yeah.
Okay. Better suspension on the RMX. I think I'll have to look, but I think the forks are
They're substantially smaller,
larger
on the KDX.
Yes. So larger forks. So it just feels better. Both bikes feel pretty dang good for being 32 years old.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say the winner of the up and down
Suspension
test
yeah.
was the RMX.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did drag races within there, and we did it on dirt too, in the
did
field, and we did it in there. And who was the winner there?
RMX.
RMX. RMX250. In that test, I think the extra 50 cc's were the main reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would assume even if this was a 220, 250, still probably beating it.
They bumped these up to 220 for a few years and sold them as 220s.
Yes.
I don't think 20 would be enough.
Not enough.
I don't think.
I think that 20 cc's you're feeling maybe more on the bottom end of just like flipping, but yeah, top speed.
Okay, then for actual, we got onto the track. And let's say the suspension on the track. Which one was better on the track?
RMX suspension.
RMX. And then which motor was better on the track?
Yeah, RMX.
RMX.
The 250 cc one.
Okay, so far. Okay, so it's won every category
Yeah.
so far. I think the reason for that is we're both moto guys. The RMX is definitely more moto.
Yeah.
And how it was based on more of a motocross bike than the KDX was. The KDX was more of it was based on a motocross bike. They took some stuff, but it was mainly an off-road build.
Specifically for trail, yeah.
The tight trails where I fell over once.
Yes.
I can send you that footage if you want.
Yeah, I'll put it in here. Or I also was rolling, as you can see right now. I was rolling when I walked down to him. It wouldn't be a trail ride if I didn't have to come rescue on some hill. The one trail we did.
I was kind of warm. I was wearing a vest.
Wearing a vest when it was hot and sunny.
Right.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I wasn't in a good mood for that part of it, but it was fine. Okay, so on the tight trails, I will say the KDX felt a little bit better on both bikes, but especially on both bikes, the seats are like saddles.
Yes.
Like a horse.
You're stuck in a certain spot.
I noticed on both bikes, I think the KDX more than the RMX. It was harder to get to standing up where I want to be because you're sitting down in there like this. I'm sitting down in there and I'm gassing it and stuff, and it's hard to want to get up. It's hard to get yourself up there. Even on the track, I was noticing it. So that was a downside of these older generation bikes. I think if there was a way to and end up wanting to sit back way further, you know, the new bikes, you guys put a bump on them to keep you from going too far back. I feel like I'd want a bump in the front to keep me from going too far forward.
Flat, to build up some foam. I remember we did that on one of my mini bikes.
Yeah.
Built up the foam so it was a really tall seat. But.
So, and by the way, this video is brought to you by PB Blaster. And they're going to have a Blaster line of products for our sport. And Wiseco, which we put brand new Wisecos in both bikes. And what do you think of how much it woke up the RMX?
They helped a lot.
Yeah.
Especially on like speed.
Yeah. Just
top speed.
Definitely feels way better and crisper. The RMX we'll see. It started so good the other day, and today it didn't want to start so good on cold start. Starts great the rest of the time.
Yes.
Both bikes did stall more than we're used to. And then one of the coolest things that I noticed today, I did like 4 or 5 times because we had Cardos on. We got Cardos right here. Here's our other sponsor of this video. We were talking to each other. Spencer, hey, come over here and make sure my camera's on or whatever. Come over here. We go over there. I talk. I roll up. What do I do?
Immediately kills the bike.
I just shut my bike off because that's what I'm used to doing. Now we know why when we go trail riding with guys like on YZs or whatever, and we stop and they don't shut their bike off. They know better. So we roll up and then I go, oh, I turned it off. I didn't mean to shut it off. So riding without electric start does kind of suck. And it really was a drag in that spot that I fell over. And man, it just ruined the whole thing because it's like I'm used to just being able to. I got the bike in a good spot to where I could have just hopped on and rode up the rest.
If you had electric start.
If I had electric start, I was like, oh my gosh. So that's a drag.
I mean, yeah. Did you remember your 4-strokes? Your original RXs that didn't have electric start at kickstart. Whenever they would stall us, you get kickstart at 250.
But I wasn't used to. I was not used to it having electric start.
Yeah.
So I just kept. I knew to keep them running.
Yes.
I knew not to shut them down. So I'm so used to shutting them down that was a killer. So that really ruined me a couple times. So I hated that part of it. But otherwise, these 32-year-old bikes, you can do everything and have a ton of fun. Spencer's going over logs and just ripping around on this thing like it's a brand new bike. So for $3,000, I feel like you can make a bike pretty decent if you can, be patient and find the good deal. You can find one that you can do something like this with. I will say that the winner of this shootout comparison is this one, RMX. It won like 4 out of 5 categories or whatever we did.
But that's for us.
Yeah.
And
now
for
who would win the RMX one? I mean, the KDX one. And I feel like is anybody really slow?
Yeah.
Beginner.
Yeah. Or if you're just doing tight wood stuff. I think the KDX would be better for people that are just doing tight stuff. I think it'd be now, just because we like to feel a little bit more of that. I think this KDX is gonna be better for anyone slower beginner speed. KDX will be better, and it's a great bike. They are getting kind of hard to find at a decent deal. But these are one of those things where if you're watching this video and you're looking for either of these bikes, you just got to have patience and be on it. If you live in a snowy area, I say look from December on to February. Yeah. In those cold months, be searching then when there's no one else looking. For dirt bikes. So there's our winners. The other thing that was kind of fun about this, when I got all geared up, I put on my knee braces, all my gear, my boots, my Tech 10s. Yeah. Right. I put on my helmet with my cardo on. Yep. Put all that on, and I go, Spencer. I think my kit, everything I have on right now, is worth more than this bike. Yeah, and you had your phone with you.
We're
not even count the phone.
We won't even count the phone,
would send it way over.
Got a brand new phone.
Yeah.
So way too much. So when your kit that you're wearing is worth more than your bike, that's a little bit interesting. That's like when I drive my little Toyota truck. My 1987,
and you put like an EXC or something in there.
I put pretty much any bike in the back of it. I could put one of these in the back of it,
and it'd probably be at the same.
And it's worth more. Because my truck's probably worth like $2,000 now, if that, right? But anyway, that's why I won't sell it. But
exactly.
Okay, so really fun. You can see some cool footage of this thing. Spencer's even going to throw in some bonus footage of riding the RMX up in the mountain trails from this summer. We're going to do a little bit more to these things, and then I don't know what we're going to do. It's not like, are we going to go race them?
You're not going to ride them. It'll just be really me riding them.
Because I have brand new bikes to ride.
Well, and if there's somebody who doesn't have a bike, that wants to go on a trip really, really badly, doesn't have a bike or anything, we can say, you can come, but you got to ride that crappy bike.
Pick which one. Okay. We're going to make sure to try to fix any other little gremlins that could go wrong. Mm-hmm. We had the chain guide fail on the RMX because it's rotted out was the main reason. The one that goes around the swing arm. Mm-hmm. That's why I want to do the chain and sprockets. Yeah. That could have been really ugly. So we want to do the chain and sprockets on both. We're going to check over a few little things. But these bikes are really fun. It does go to prove that you can have fun on about anything that runs. Yep. Any dirt bike that runs, you can have fun. I enjoy it. I mean, hopping on a 50, if I'm working the shop and I don't get to go riding for a while, hop on a 50 and go ride down the road. It's that blowing through your hair, it feels awesome. So, awesome. Anything else you thought of on these things?
They're pretty fun. I enjoy them.
He's a man of few words. Yeah, they're pretty fun. I enjoy it.
Well, I think people are under this illusion. That's what I said, that the bike's the problem as to why you are a bad rider.
Yeah.
Yes, I can do everything the same on these bikes, but maybe you need a better bike. And we said that you become a better rider as you ride better bikes. But then once you become a better rider,
you can ride anything.
You can ride anything. Realistically, you can ride anything. Because I can take these up anything. Other than, massive hill climbs that require more than 250 cc's.
Right.
That's about it.
Or 200 cc's.
Or 200.
So definitely, I think the gearing was good on both bikes.
Yeah.
You shift through these gears pretty quick on the KDX especially. I was in top gear like right away.
Yeah, they're only 5 years, correctly?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't check that.
Let's double check that. But
Somebody in the comments could also say it, because I'm sure people.
why don't we check and we'll come right back to this video. Okay, that was fun.
Yeah.
We were both right.
Yeah. 5.
5, 6. So you shift. You think with that extra 6 that it would have some pull like on top, thing, but it just stops. Like so, those 6 are like this. So anyway, 5 speeds, because I think this is really based way more on the motocross bike. But I thought first gear was just fine going up those tight trails, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I can pull some footage in of me doing logs and stuff, and it does really good on log jumps in Utah when I took it on some trails. So,
okay. Well, we'll have some more fun content on these. If you guys like old dirt bikes like this, let us know. Also, you can email me for any tech questions, those types of things. Remember to use our Rocky Mountain link. We'll have a link in the description of this video. If you're going to shop at Rocky Mountain, you can use that link. We have lots of other good links, all those other types of things in our link tree. All that information is in the description of this video. Anything else? That's it.
Blessed.
So much blessed.
Stay motivated, all that stuff.
Okay, we got some bonus footage we didn't plan on doing, but the two-stroke race at Glen Helen came up. So we figured we'd put the RMX250 and the KDX200 out on the track. What'd you think?
It was good. It was better than I thought. I'm gonna be honest. I was not expecting much.
We did ride it early while the track wasn't too rough, and it was pretty awesome.
It was great.
Enjoy some cool footage. We'll add some of that into the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys.
See you.